Please start in 3, 2, 1. Please start. So we are live.
Very good evening to everyone, and thanks for joining in again this beautiful Independence Day Eve. And it's our 77th Independence Day this year, and we are glad that we have a very eminent panel of experts with us from various fields, not only restricted to the medical field. So I'll start with one of my very dear colleague and expert from Trivandrum. She's an additional professor of neurology at Sri Chitra Institute of Medical Sciences, Trivandrum. Welcome, Dr. Shruti Nair. She's very good evening to you, Dr. Shruti, and thanks for joining in. And we'll definitely get your expert inputs on uh, the various aspects of how somebody's life changes when they get a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis and how they should be dealing with it. We have, like the previous webinars, with us Kuldeep, who has been a great support, and he's representing HDR here. HDR Events has been a fitness partner for this 30-day campaign, which I would say is a trigger, not even a small journey. It's a beginning of a journey, which we will be definitely taking forward. And to we have been again fortunate enough that Chandan, who is a co-founder of HDR Events, is also with us today. And thank you, Chandan, and thank you, Kuldeep, for being a great pillar of support and definitely taking forward this campaign to whatever we could contribute to and it was just a beginning, a trigger point in the lives of people with multiple sclerosis. But I think these small steps, from at least for my sake, they matter a lot. And again, uh, uh, with the another special guest for this particular evening, we have Ms. Pooja Patar, who is a eminent speaker, trainer, as well as a fitness expert, and she's a certified American College of Sports Medicine trainer, and she basically trains globally people how to build up their training programs and has participated in number of uh, marathons and long distance runs, and you can see the number of shields she is having at the back also. And uh, we are fortunate to have you, Ms. Pooja, over here, and will definitely would love to learn about your journey of fitness, and maybe our audience, and a big thanks to all of you who have joined this evening and taken out time from your busy schedule to basically learn and to have the inputs from there. We'll be soon joined by three other experts, Dr. Dheeraj Khurana from PGI Chandigarh, Dr. U. Meenakshi Sundaram, who is the current Secretary of Indian Academy of Neurology and an eminent neurologist from Chennai. He is also an active runner and a very eminent this speaker as well. And we have another very senior neurologist and MS physician joining us from Kolkata, Dr. Tapas Kumar Banerjee. Sir would be joining in a short while and will be taking this discussion further. So we let us start with our special guest this evening, Ms. Pooja. We would love to hear from you that about your journey. What motivated you to start with this fitness journey of yours, and what keeps you motivated every day to take it forward? Please, over to you, Ms. Pooja.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Manish, for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity, and so giving such a good introduction of me. All right. So, hello, everyone. Okay, hope you're doing great. For me, the journey started since childhood. Okay, I have been into like being brought up in a family which promoted a lot of physical activities. Like we came from school and we were just pushed out go swim, go play badminton, that kind of lifestyle we have lived, we have grown up with. And when I got married, my husband did not stop me. Like he said, like I was just continuing the same thing, and he supported me too. So that's how that stayed forever. So for me, it has become a lifestyle, and it's not something very different. But even then, there are some days where I feel okay, today I'm not like maybe I don't want to work out, so that day maybe I'll go for doing some other activity, and still get that movement in, just so that I feel good. So, and also, after getting into running, I realized that no matter the type of, the mode of movement you choose, whether you want to go gym, whether you want to go running, you want to go swimming, you want to pick up any sport, you can pick anything that motivates you to find that movement for you, for individual person. So I tell everyone, find the movement that you enjoy so that you can stick to it for longer time, right? Otherwise, if I say no, you have to do gym only, so maybe somebody doesn't want to do that, right? So they will not stay with it for longer time. So something which you can stay for longer time, and intermittently you add gym, because there is no substitute for resistance training, because that's the only way you can build your muscle or you can retain your muscle mass, right? So, and we all know that how important it is to retain your muscle mass as you age, because muscle is the only thing that is going to help you with stability, movement, and everything that happens in your life, right? So that is how the thing is, and that's how I advocate all my clients to stay consistent with their movements. And also the main important thing is small wins. If
Yeah.
we are doing any activity, if we get small wins, say on weekly basis or say bi-weekly, small wins are the triggers that keep pushing us to do better. So I think
Yeah.
and just and those small wins, not
Yeah, Pooja, I think your connection is weak and we are having some disturbance. But you rightly
yeah.
mentioned the importance of muscle mass and muscle strengthening, because I think Dr. Shruti can put more light on this. Yeah, because we all know that balance issues and muscle weakness is very important. Pooja, thank you for bringing up very important issue of like this to the panel discussion, that how exercise and how your regular exercises can give us the muscle strength. Uh, so, Dr. Shruti, please tell us something, how you feel that the muscle and how well, and anything from your side, you also guide your patients about the role of exercise, and especially for people with multiple sclerosis.
Thank you, Dr. Manish. Let me first thank you for inviting me for this wonderful program. There are so many attendees, so many people interested in moving, and that is a great thing to see. And I also thank the panelists for actually starting off and giving us a very beautiful idea of the little wins and how muscle mass is important for our daily life, irrespective whether you have a neurological diagnosis or whether you do not have that. So uh, my thought here is that even when you don't have a baseline problem to deal with, after an age, maybe after 40s, you start losing a bit of your muscle if you don't regularly do your resistance activities or work out regularly. So if on top of that you have a problem where there may be a little bit of loss of neurons or maybe a little more of that, it is much more important that you be fully active. So what I would recommend to whoever comes to me with the diagnosis of MS is that they should be as active as they can. So if they can, just walk, continue to walk. If they can play a sports, that would be even better. If they can run a marathon, that would be the best. I mean, like whatever they can do, they should be doing, and it is quite important in order to, rewire the networks which have had problems, so that they regain their balance or their stability or the muscle power that they have, compromised. And not only that, it helps with understanding whether the disease is stable or not. Suppose you are not doing anything. Sometimes when you have a problem, you do not know whether it is a consequence of not being fully active or whether it is a consequence of the disease getting worse. So it is quite important, I would say, that from the disease point of view also to be fully active, to understand whether it's a progressive phase or some kind of non-responsiveness to the management coming up or not. And a very positive thing I saw from exercise, from my own experience, was that I was working in cognitive things. So many of my people had a problem with, attention, multitasking, and we had done a study on that as well. And so we found that quite a large number, maybe 90% had some amount of little bit of problem with cognitive issues. And whatever methods we tried, the only one which seems to work is an activity for about 25 to 30 minutes. That seems to be the best medicine for that. Over and above even cognitive training, doing, mental exercises, it seems that physical exercises work as well or even better. So on that part, that was something I learned through my interaction with the patients, specifically in MS. So I would
Right.
say that as Pooja mentioned, it is a cornerstone of in MS. So whoever who can work out without any problems, they should work out, and whoever can't, they should do to the extent which does not tire them out.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I think thanks for giving that insight of that 20 to 25 minutes of regular exercise works even better than the cognitive exercise or training, which you can give and make your cognition even better than your physical endurance. So again, big thanks to Pooja for bringing this important highlight. Welcome, sir. Dr. Tapas Kumar Banerjee, sir, from Kolkata has joined us.
Hello.
And thank you, sir, for joining in. And sir is an eminent MS physician and a neurologist. And I have the blessing that he always gives me the blessings and spares out time for such webinars. And there are a lot of informative videos that he has shared, and they are available on the Foundation's YouTube channel as well. So, sir, we would like to hear from you because the theme this year for World MS Day was My MS Diagnosis and Navigating Through MS Journey. So, sir, you with your vast experience of so many decades of MS dealing with people with multiple sclerosis, how do you talk about the diagnosis, and how do you tell your people with multiple sclerosis to tackle with at the inception when they are diagnosed with multiple sclerosis? We would like to hear from you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Manish. It's really my pleasure to be here. One should know that multiple sclerosis, we are really at the cusp of having a new therapeutic advancement in the treatment of multiple sclerosis. Whatever we used to have at that time, at earlier stage, we used to diagnose multiple sclerosis and that's it. Apart from physiotherapy and course of pulse methylprednisolone, we have nothing to add. But with the inception of this disease-modifying therapy, things have changed, and over the years, those disease-modifying therapy has developed to such an extent. Now we are having cases of multiple sclerosis who are really leading a normal, healthy life for over 20-25 years. And that has been possible because of our understanding. And the fact is very important that we have learned that we have to capture the disease as early as possible to really hit the multiple sclerosis right at the moment when the treatment works best. So the awareness of this disease is very important among all our neurologists and should percolate to all the physicians and even to the general people, the awareness of this disease, and going to the right place, getting the investigations done, and starting off with the treatment. If that can be achieved, things have really shown a paradigm shift in our outcome of patients with multiple sclerosis.
Thank you, sir. I think, Pooja, we had some connectivity issues with your audio. Coming back to you, Pooja, please continue with your journey. You were telling us that how did your motivation from your parents initially, and then your family support brought you to whatever you are delivering and you are doing. We would like that. What keeps you motivated right now on a daily basis, and how one should make exercise a daily habit? And because for me, at least, I find 100 reasons not to exercise or not to walk. But from your side, So
Okay.
Pooja, who is an American College of Sports Medicine certified physical fitness trainer and an expert, please, we would like to hear this from you, sir.
Yeah.
Pooja.
Okay, thank you so much introducing me again. I would say I would talk from my client's perspective. Okay, so everyone,
Right.
like, I will pick one client and I'll talk from his perspective, where he was not working out for years, and he started his workout journey at the age of 30. Okay, and he started with me, and then he was like, "Yeah, I've never worked out. I used to go intermittently, but I could not see results, and I never stuck by, right?" So the thing is, we humans, we want instant results. I started today, I should see the results today. That's not how your physical effort results in. Like, it takes longer time. For some people, it can be quick, right? So the motivation will come when you stay for a little longer and you start to see the change in you or see the progress in you, right? So for him, it was the same excuse. I can't, like, I don't have time. I go to office very early and all those things. But 6 months down the line, he's 8 kilos down, and now all before the session, he's already ready. So the motivation will stay when you start seeing the small results, and
Right.
it will come only when you stick to the journey, right? Nothing happens in
Yeah.
overnight. So it has to be like small effort, like how Dr. Shruti said, like 25-30 minutes of work. That is enough to keep you in discipline, to keep you that motivation to do the next session, because it is enough to not tire you and yet enough to keep you fresh. Okay,
Right.
so that 25 minutes every day, like say at least thrice a week, and finding other days you're finding the movements where you want to walk and do, and these will keep you motivated. Okay, if you think, okay, I see somebody, I want to get that result, so that will motivate me. No. If you think I will, my motivation will stay with you for long, no. It is what you have to, like, one has to find their own purpose, why they want to do what they are doing. That is when the stickability will be there. So that is what
Great.
my takeaway is, like,
Yeah.
find your purpose. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So I
find
think
your purpose,
very
find your
rightly said.
movement.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Pooja, I think you have made a point that first you talked about muscle strength. Now I think the purpose, it's not only for the general public, where obviously the health, retaining the health. Dr. Shruti also used the word retaining. So retaining the health is very important. It's more important when you understand the importance of health, and when you lose certain health aspect and you develop some chronic disease like multiple sclerosis, and when you know that this exercise regimen is going to give you back to some extent your balance, your muscle strength, to cope up with your, and to let you complete your activities of daily living, they matter a lot. So for those who have joined us right now, I would just like to highlight that why we are here, and I hope my slides are visible to everyone. So they are visible.
Yes.
Yeah. So for today, we are at the conclusion of the 30-day fitness campaign, which we started for the general public and for the awareness of multiple sclerosis, and for people with multiple sclerosis, to inculcate a habit of fitness in them as well. And this whole journey basically started so with a webinar on 30th May, where Dr. Tapas Kumar Banerjee sir was again a part of that beginning inception webinar, where we discussed about various aspects and frequently asked questions from people with multiple sclerosis, various aspects of the medical part of the multiple sclerosis, and how they heard from experts from across the country. And again, we touched upon the role of exercise, and there was the launch of this particular campaign. And then we had two parts of this campaign. For the general public, we had they participated, they registered themselves, and we kicked off this journey on the middle of the July, and we are here in mid of August on this Independence Day Eve, where they have contributed, and they had to walk it or run for at least 1 kilometer a day, and the whole data has been captured by HDR, and we have got some very encouraging data that people did register, and many of my medical colleagues and neurology colleagues also did register for this. And the best part was that people with multiple sclerosis, they also participated, and they were supposed to do certain level of physical activity, like they were supposed to contribute and they dedicate their steps and do certain upper limb exercises. And we did start this with Dr. Dinika Anand talking about certain clinical psychological aspects, and that is something where I also contributed my bit. And this is a small 30-second video which one of my colleagues from Artemis showed upper limb exercises. So using this resistance band, which was provided to the people with multiple sclerosis during this campaign, and following this video, many of the people, they uploaded their and they did participate in the campaign. So the only appeal on the conclusion webinar for this multiple sclerosis awareness, which we tagged as Walk or Run for MS, is that please, this is a journey that we, all of us, have just started, and please don't stop here. Continue with this journey. And with this, our fitness partner, I would like Chandan to join in. And he is the co-founder of HDR. And I've been really blessed to have HDR as the fitness partner for this campaign. And we have Kuldeep also for this, who has been participating, and we held some good Instagram live videos also on their HDR platforms to create awareness about not only multiple sclerosis, but about this event. And many of their 100-day challenge participants also participated in this campaign. So I think the results have been encouraging. Kuldeep, you can talk about this campaign from your perspective also. Kuldeep, you're mute.
Thanks, Dr. Manish, for invitation and the introduction. And I congratulate you and your team for taking this initiative. And it's really a wonderful initiative, I must say. So I have seen, like, I got many queries from people like, what is this initiative? What is MS? And means they became curious because, it's, as you rightly mentioned in one of Insta Live, that its name is very tongue twisting. So people asked, we explained them like why we are doing this initiative, why we are doing campaigning for this, because this is something which is people are not aware of it. And as Dr. Banerjee mentioned, it is good if it is taught in the early stages. So yes, very wonderful initiative. And Ms. Pooja and Dr. Shruti has covered almost everything, like why fitness activities are required, what is the role of muscles, strengthening, balance in our life. And that's why this fitness should be a part of our daily life. Whatever we do that require our physical presence or physical ability to do that. Whatever work we are doing for our family or for our office or society that require our fitness first. Okay. So that's why this fitness thing is very much required. That's why we always encourage, do something for yourself. go for a walk of 2 kilometers. That also takes 15, 20, 25 minutes. Go for a cycling of 5 kilometers. That also take only 15, 20, 25 minutes. Do yoga, gym, whatever you want to do. Just first fall in love with your fitness activities. Then everything will fall in place automatically. People will start waking up early in the morning. They will push themselves. They will challenge their limits. Everything will come automatically. But yes, first start loving your physical fitness and do something for this. So that's what we say. And that's I want to say about this. And wonderful initiative. And people must be benefiting from this. And since it's a beginning, as you mentioned it. So yes, this awareness will help the society to know about this disease. Where should they go if they get it, and how they can get rid of it, how they can reduce the impact of this. That will really help the society. So once again, congratulations, Dr. Manish and your team.
Thank you, Kuldeep. Sir, over to you again. You mentioned that with the more aggressive. Hi, Chandan. Just give me a moment.
I would like. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, please, Chandan. I know that you are in mid of the traffic, so please go ahead. You can continue with from Kuldeep's talk, please. We would
Yes,
like to hear more from HDR. Yeah.
Apologies again. I was on my way and I could not join the call on video continuously.
No
But
problem.
firstly, you started the call and you thanked HDR, but I think it should be the other way. We are very, very blessed to be part of this motion.
Thank
And
you.
it's thanks to you. It's no thanks to us. We are here for this service. The ethos of HDOR is for the betterment of the society. Unfortunately, or you could say fortunately for this event, I am aware about this disease. And in our family, there have been cases of multiple sclerosis, multiple myelomas, and all those diseases which are chronic, which alter the life of person. And it is very difficult for the person and for the family to cope up once they realize that they have been diagnosed with such disease, which is going to alter their lifestyle completely. And I also want to emphasize, whatever Pooja has added and whatever Kuldeep has added. One of the things which I would like to emphasize is that we should also consider the psychological impact which exercise does. When a person knows that he has a chronic disease which cannot be cured, right? The first thing which happens to a person is that the moral goes down. And if that person is into some kind of a physical activity, every time you go for a run, I think Pooja can vouch for that, there are release of endorphins and other enzymes, which are called happy hormones, which gives you self-confidence, which rise your motivation level. And for such patients, because I know personally, for such patients, medicines can work out wonders, but the self-confidence and high moral is very important to fight these diseases. So that is one thing which I would really want to emphasize, because exercise adds that moral and that should not be discounted. That's
Great.
it, Manish.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very, very important aspect. And sir, we would like to hear from you, from your, Dr. Shruti did mention that role of exercise. I think you have seen people growing into their 50s or 60s with the multiple sclerosis, and especially with people with primary progressive multiple sclerosis who start late in the course. So, from your experience, how do you suggest, how do you tell them to participate in physical activity and regular? Because not only this, they help with the physical endurance, but that also I think helps with coping up with other lifestyle disorders with the same, they are same prone to the other general population as well. Sir, you are on mute, sir. Sir, you are on mute.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Very well.
It's a very important question. The data has shown quite vividly that in primary progressive multiple sclerosis, where treatment is still not very good, those who are engaged in physical exercise and activities, physical activity and regular exercise has really slowed the progression of the disease. There are data, very clear data on it. So exercise definitely has a role in primary progressive multiple sclerosis, of course, and also in all types of multiple sclerosis. We always recommend that a person should have a good, healthy diet and regular exercise. As you have quite clearly mentioned, and others have mentioned, that every day around 1 hour of exercise, not to make him absolutely tired and fatigued, which might have a deleterious effect temporarily, but otherwise regular exercise definitely has a role to play. And you know, in elderly subjects who have primary progressive multiple sclerosis, or they may be in secondary progressive multiple sclerosis on the elderly side, the comorbidities also contribute in the progression of multiple sclerosis. Like, you know, people can have other comorbidities like stroke, hypertension, all that. And for all these factors, exercise is very well recommended, because that also has exercise has a positive effect in prevention of those diseases as well. So overall, exercise is always recommended in cases of multiple sclerosis.
Right. Thank you, sir, for that great insight. Over to you, Dr. Shruti. Dr. Shruti, we did ask about MS diagnosis discussion with people with multiple sclerosis. With your experience, do you have any specific coping up strategies and any guidance you provide to people with multiple sclerosis when you discuss the diagnosis first time with any person who's diagnosed with multiple sclerosis for the first time when they visit your clinic?
So when it comes to the, first telling about the diagnosis, I like to start from where the patient knows. So some people are aware of the diagnosis, maybe too aware of it from the internet and everything. And there are people who are hearing it for the first time. So it depends on what the patient already knows. And I personally would, if the person is new to this diagnosis, I would like to just tell them what is specifically happening within your body, like whatever we know about its pathophysiology, like how the disease has, may have been started in your body and why it would be causing the problems that the patient is seeing. And that is how I like to start. And when how to cope with the disease, it is, I think, any chronic disease. Sometimes it is for neurologists, maybe something like hypothyroidism would be nothing because we think that's a very small disease. But the thing is that any chronic disease is it's not a difficult thing for people to understand. From what is considered as healthy, we are now converting into we are thinking that our tag changes, although it is, it is never a all or none thing. We tend to think ourselves as healthy or not healthy. So,
Right.
yeah, so for that reason, I think that any chronic disease is a challenge for the person who hears a diagnosis. So I think one of the best strategies is to focus on what we can control. There are things which you cannot control, like, all the pathophysiologic process and what started off things and all, it's not within your control. But there is an element of it which you can manage. So one is, and focus on that part of it, and that would be the best way to, add on to your, mental well-being and your emotional health. So that I ask them to focus on the fact that they are healthy at this point, they have recovered at this point, and then understand that there are, as Sarah has mentioned a few minutes back, there are so many new medicines available. There are ways that they will continue to remain healthy for much longer than a person a few years could have thought of. A few years back could have thought of. So that is something very positive. And maybe in another few years, we may even have a cure for MS. And there are
Right.
things within our lifestyle which can change, and that would include, our dietary, positive dietary changes, positive healthy habits, and living off things which we never needed to start in the first, like, if you are taking too much of alcohol or exposing yourself to cigarette smoke, you can leave all of that and go towards as positive a lifestyle as you can adopt at that point. I think it may be an opportunity to change certain things in your life too.
Yeah.
Because MS does not always mean a very bad outcome later on. There are we know that percentage proportion is going on increasing. The people who do well, that proportion is increasing day by day. And
Right.
that is something, some way I think we should be talking to patients about.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Shruti. Over to you, Pooja. So how do you, as a trainer, individualize your fitness regimens? Because I think every individual is a different one. So obviously we cannot cater to all the questions and specific queries, but as a trainer, what salient principles do you follow when you individualize a training regimen for your clients or for your trainees?
That's a very good question. Okay. Sometimes we think, okay, that person is doing this exercise, let me follow that and let me get the results. Okay. So there is so much of difference of every individual's lifestyle, you know. Somebody like if you are in a younger age, you are into sports, you will have a sports specific workouts, right? And somebody who is aged, I would prefer more stability exercises, more movement based exercises, you know, more supported exercises. So exercise will depend on the client's goals. So here also, well, if we are talking about, you know, people with MS condition, I was reading up that they go through a lot of pain. So if that is the condition, like if they are in a lot of pain, so we have to also customize their workouts. You know, they should be very short. They should be more supported, where they don't have to really rely on their body's balance. Rather, the machine helps them do that. You know, so all those tweaks help achieve the fitness goals that we want to achieve for individuals. Okay, so that way I also personalize, like depending on my client's lifestyle, my client's needs, their goals, their age, and also if they have any medical condition, so even the intensity would change. So yeah.
Thank you, Pooja. That's great. So definitely one model doesn't fit everyone. That's the basic, I think, principle which we should be follow. Please understand your body limitations. Most important, I think, aspect which Dr. Tapas Kumar Banerjee sir also highlighted is specific for people with multiple sclerosis is don't fatigue yourself. Your exercise regimen should not cause exhaustion. So that is something which you should be taking, take home message should be, please understand your body, plan accordingly, go slow, but be regular. That's the message from all the fitness experts from here. And
I would
welcome,
also
sir,
like to
Dr.
add
Yu.
something.
Okay, please. Yeah, Pooja, please.
Yeah. So we are always talking about exercise as a weight management thing or a fitness thing, whereas, you know, diet plays the most crucial part when it comes to weight management. Okay, when we say, okay, because we don't burn a lot of calories with exercise. Exercise is only a mode to make you look in a certain way because you're building muscles, right? But diet, your right diet, your balanced diet is the main, you know, it will be the main frame where you're going to manage your weight. So it stays for everyone, and also the sleep, which we ignore so much in digital world nowadays. Your 8 hours, I would say, not really the quantity. So these three aspects, you know, exercise, diet, and your sleep, because your rest and recovery is as important as your exercise. You want results from your exercise. If you're not sleeping well, if you're not eating well, if you're eating well, you will sleep well. You will sleep well, you will exercise well, and you will get good results. So I think it's just combination of everything. It's not just we stick to one part. Okay, this is it. No, I think we have to do small changes in every aspect of our life, and eventually we can build over those small steps. You know, it's not that from today only I will fix everything. No, it doesn't happen that way. So small changes, small movements, small eating habits, small little changes in the sleep hygiene. So all these give a really a fantastic, you know, outcome to a person's life. So I would like to say
great insights, great inputs.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir, Dr. Yu Meenakshi Sundaram, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah. So for the attendees, sir is the current secretary of Indian Academy of Neurology and an eminent neurologist. And the most important aspect, I think, for me personally, is sir is an avid runner, and he clicks beautiful photographs in various parts of the world, running across, and I think that's quite motivational. And he's a role model for many. Sir, welcome, sir, on board. So we had, sir, discussion about multiple sclerosis, how to cope up when one gets diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. We had great inputs from Dr. Banerjee, sir, Dr. Shruti. We had discussion about role of diet. You just heard about role of diet, sleep, and I think regularity with your fitness regimen. But we would like to hear from you. Sir, how do you maintain that motivation to run every day despite such a busy schedule?
Good evening, Manish. Good evening to everyone on this elite panel. I'm sure I'm not going to add anything extra. I know you have such experts around, and I'm sure you would have heard enough. And thanks for those very flattering words. I don't think I deserve so many. No, I just think that on a personal note, that what was just now said, I'm sorry for joining in late. I got held up. But I think that what Ms. Pooja said about the three aspects, diet, exercise, and sleep, I would only add one more component. And I would say that just make sure that you're happy doing whatever you can. I think that's something that I tell every patient of mine, that, do something that you're happy doing. Don't do because Manish is doing, or don't do because I'm doing. Don't do because somebody else has done this, but do what you like to do. Your endorphins should secrete. Now, see, I see that somebody from, I think, Kuldeep Bhargava from HDOR is here. And I would credit HDOR with this. I'll tell you why. Because, we started this Indian, the IA, Indian Academy of Neurology Runners Group. And we were happy to launch it in Chennai in 2017 when I organized our national conference. This is a crazy lot. And we knew about each other, and that's when we started. And my wife and I would always walk together. So that's the biggest motivation, because we have that 1 hour where we discuss a lot of things. That's how it started. We started walking. Now, why I'm crediting HDOIR is in an indirect way, COVID was a blessing, because we were stuck with no work to do. I started, and I was a doctor, so I could carry my ID and run on the road. Nobody else could come on the road. So that was, so I started, I made a goal that within the lockdown started, that I'll start running for at least 5 kilometers. So achieved that. And when the HDOR happened, I think we did indoor and outdoor. And that year, I think I clocked more than 1,200 kilometers and lost quite a bit of weight. Then it became a habit. Now it has reached a stage where if I don't do anything on a day, I feel like I'm sick. I have myalgia, backache. I think it's the endorphin, the absence of the endorphin that I get when we do it. So when I'm actually very dull is when I would definitely make sure that I do some exercise. It doesn't have to be running. Now, as I said, our IA runners group is a crazy group where people run almost like, there are guys who run 25 kilometers every day, and there are guys who run 180 kilometers at a stretch suddenly overnight. All those things happen in that group, and all sorts of different runners are there. There are people who sprint, there are people who do. I say I'm not going to gallop, I'll do my trots. So I am happy doing this, and as I'm about to turn 60, I found that this has really made a difference. Now, so 3 years HDOR I did, and then I said, fine, now I am disciplined enough to do it on my own. So let us not, don't have to do it 100 days at a stretch. It's about doing at least 4 5 weeks, traveling almost every week. So it happens that you can't, and I make sure that wherever I go, I will always carry the bag so that I get the opportunity. It's not because I didn't bring my shoe or I didn't bring my running kit that I didn't do. And if I'm lazy, I'm lazy. That's fine. I should not forget. And that's something that I make sure. There are cheat days. I eat well. I'm not a very big, I'm not too obsessed with diet. I eat well, but I think some sort of discipline always helps. I stopped eating rice and that took away portion. And anyway, I've always been on a 2 meal a day for almost 30 years. That's by habit, not by choice. So that has also helped now that people talk about intermittent fasting and all that. What I would say is that, especially in multiple sclerosis, It's very important. I heard you quoting my good friend Dr. Banerjee, TK Banerjee, that it's important you don't get fatigued. And what I would tell these patients are, you can do, and this I tell the cardiac patients, as I tell all my patients, even if you do 10 minutes 3 times a day, it will add up to 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be 30 minutes at a stretch. So even if you can't do anything, just walk inside the house freely. No, that really would help. Now people say, I can't do this, I can't do that, I have nobody to accompany me. And I say, do this at least. Make sure that you keep those joints moving, keep those muscles active, and make sure that you eat just enough to keep yourself active. Don't overeat. I think that's very, very important. And most importantly, as I said, be happy with whatever you're doing. And if you're not happy doing it, don't do it. Change what you're doing. Go to dancing, go to cycling, go to whatever your Tai Chi, whatever you like. Choose your exercise and be comfortable with it. I think that's my point.
Thank you, sir. I think I have just witnessed that you have been emphasizing that don't blame your weather for not running. And you have been saying that in the group as well, that
Correct.
you have been doing it for a long time now.
No,
the
people
indoor running
say
especially.
that actually the hot weather, it's very difficult to go out and run. That's when we started running inside the house. Actually, it's very hot this time in Chennai. So we said that's not an excuse. But actually, what I have found is that I'm sure Ms. Pooja, or Ms. Fitness enthusiast will agree with me. There is actually the cold days that are very difficult. That's when you would like to lie inside your blanket for a longer time. That's when we need more motivation. The hot weather, you will get up. You will have to get up. And I think you will do it. Just that you just hydrate yourself well and go. But the cold weather is when you tend to become really lazy. Thankfully, Chennai is not that cold a place, so we can afford to run almost around the year.
No. So, Pooja, your voice is not clear. If you can just reiterate, yeah, you can yeah. So, Pooja, you can reconnect and then you can complete whatever you were saying.
I agree with Dr. Meenakshi Sundram that winter season is, I also feel winter season is tough for running. Because
Yeah.
yes.
So I think this brings us to the end of this webinar. Very beautiful one, I would say, with such an eminent panel. And I just got the message from Dr. Dheeraj that he's stuck up with the general body meeting of his institute, PGI Chandigarh. So he is not able to join in. And he has sent his regrets. But anyways, we had such a beautiful insights on various aspects of role of lifestyle changes, I would say, in totality for people with multiple sclerosis in specific, and all these coming from people who have been doing it for years is more important than who has just started a journey like me, I would say, and it matters. So again, just emphasizing on the fact that please don't take this campaign as a 30-day campaign. Take it as a beginning, as a journey, as a starting point, I would say, and forward. Please move forward from this point onwards, and come back to this video again and again on the channel's YouTube channel, and you can watch this on Instagram also. But most importantly, do exercise regularly, focus on your diet, keep your weight under check, and sleep well. So that's the message. Hydrate yourself, don't fatigue. With this, I would like to thank Dr. Tapas Kumar Banerjee, sir, Dr. U. Meenakshi Sundaram, sir, Dr. Shruti Nair, our special guest Pooja, Chandan, Kuldeep for joining in, and nevertheless, my technical team who always is there, Diksha and Ronak Bhai, for helping me out with this webinar. And a big thanks to people with multiple sclerosis and other audience and people, the caregivers, for joining in today. And we had a very beautiful audience. This on Independence 77th Independence Day Eve also, close to half century, sir. We have in the attendee list. So we are still live. We don't know the stats for that. And many thanks again to those who participated. Dr. Yuminakshi Sundaram sir has got also similar t-shirt for him as well. Thank you, sir, for participating in this campaign. And again, a big thanks to all of the panelists for joining in and sharing your valuable insights. Thank you, and have a blessed evening and a blessed life ahead. A very happy Independence Day to all in advance.
Thank you. Thank you all. Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Independence Day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.